Taking back control of your life is a principal point in Stoicism. Many of the ancient Stoics emphasized the importance of mastering your own life and having control over your mind, body, and soul. That's why in this video we will go over 15 things for you to do in order to master yourself. We have just launched our new Stoic newsletter called The Stoic Lifestyle. If you want to join this newsletter, go to the pinned comment in the comment section and click on the link. Also, if you are new here, please hit the subscribe button if you want to watch more life-changing Stoic content. Thank you all for watching and enjoy. Number 1. Learn to be adaptable. The first vital Stoic lesson for mastering yourself involves cultivating adaptability. Embracing change as the only constant of existence and building willingness to flexibly adjust perspectives when confronted with changing circumstances or new information contradicting old assumptions. Avoid clinging rigidly to static identities, beliefs, and behaviors as life evolves. Carefully reflect on areas where you dig in your heels, resisting modification of long-held opinions, political affiliations, relational dynamics, or knee-jerk reactions despite growing evidence suggesting the need for nuanced evolution. Do fears unconsciously drive the rejection of ideological updates or cognitive dissonance? Release your stubborn grasp of ego and objectivity returns. Visualize flowing wisely like water around roadblocks, using leverage and logic to reroute advantageous paths without requiring external changes to accommodate your anticipated trajectories or validate current worldviews immediately. Inhale chaos, exhale solutions using wisdom and courage to improve situations where possible rather than wasting energy lamenting how imperfection inconveniences. The years ahead require avoiding disempowered resignation when confronted by volatile events disrupting normalcy across relationships, careers, and world stability. But those responding with resilient adaptability guided by timeless values become catalysts for redemption during turmoil, rather than capsized vessels leaving victims in their wake. Absorb disruption through mindful breath, then redirect it skillfully. Achieve harmony with life's changing melody. As Aurelius wrote, adapt yourself to the things among which your lot has been cast, and love sincerely the fellow creatures with whom destiny has ordained that you shall live. Flow with reality as it unfolds. Number 2. Develop self-discipline. Prioritize judicious self-governance as muscle strengthening daily. Carefully reflect on areas where distraction or temptation reliably undermine executing important yet difficult or tedious responsibilities in domains like health, vocation, and relationships. Notice where lack of restraint yields unethical decisions or procrastination cycles, sabotaging integrity and aspirations. Rein in unbridled passions and destructive habits. Visualize mindfully building self-command through small daily choices, preferencing wisdom and moderation over appeasing cravings or seeking validation when no one watches except conscience, your sacred inner sovereign. Does this thought, action, or path align with your highest self? Let truth orient every deed, however simple. Character builds slowly stone by stone. Number 3. Master the ability to forgive, judiciously letting go of grudges and resentment toward those who have harmed or offended you, without naively tolerating mistreatment or unsafe behaviors. Cleanse inner turmoil through understanding and releasing blame appropriately. Carefully reflect on areas where you harbor long-held bitterness, scorekeeping perceived debts, or secretly desiring vengeance upon someone obliviously living free in your mind rent-free. Does clinging to old hurts serve your highest growth? Consider what past pain causes your grip still grasping, rather than dropping expectations of external atonement. Shine light here. Visualize radically rewriting stale narratives of one-dimensional villains internally by sincerely practicing newly nuanced empathy, seeking context for harmful behaviors, keeping compassion front and center when it's easier demonizing adversaries. Attempt objectivity even amid offense. This lifts vision from reactive ego myopia to place both parties in a broader human dignity perspective. Breathe this relief. Number 4, become an independent thinker. Avoid blind acceptance of other people's assumptions, beliefs, and worldviews without courageous questioning and reasoned analysis using empirical facts and nuanced context. Think critically. Carefully reflect on areas where you might allow crowd consensus to unduly influence your own evolving perspectives on politics, society, relationships, or self-concept, perhaps through fears of judgment or complications for nonconformity. Do you voice views actually your own, or just reiterating without pushback what media, family, or institutions programmed as truths? Ponder beneath surfaces. Visualize reclaiming authority over your mind by proactively exposing yourself to diverse ideas, questioning frames, and debating respectfully to strengthen reasoning skills, discern fallacies, and better approximate multidimensional reality versus polarized or simplistic reduction. Allow new information to humbly challenge ingrained biases through ongoing adjustment. Fluidity reflects growth. Number 5, practice empathy. Make an ongoing effort to temporarily stand in the shoes of others to understand life from their distinct perspectives before reacting. Compassionately inquire what experiences and challenges may be shaping behaviors minus assumptions. Carefully reflect on when frustration short-circuits your ability to extend patient good faith, attempting to recognize every person navigates complex biographies, appearing as the tip of the iceberg explaining behaviors, perhaps trauma endured or suboptimal modeling by upbringings now mismatched to current context. Could you withstand their tests untransformed? Suspend accusations. Assume best intents as the default pending. Number 6. Keep an open mind. Sincerely weigh diverse perspectives far different from your own with curiosity and interest, rather than reflexively rejecting ideas that contradict personal experience or challenge ingrained assumptions. Let this diversity stretch you. Carefully reflect on areas where you mentally block out, feel exasperated by, or verbally attack viewpoints that oppose stances important for self-identity across politics, philosophy, culture, or other ideological domains. Notice what fears limit willingness for deeper self-inquiry when confronted by injunctions to grow beyond current limiting labels and boundaries. Sit with discomfort. Visualize welcoming respectful exposure to belief systems far different from your own as opportunities for mutual understanding, intelligent discourse, and gaining wisdom by observing wider dimensions of truth through shifting the lens beyond familiar focal lengths. Understanding expands when we dwell openly in nuance with humility, rather than fleeing to certainty's security and forcing singularity. Number 7. Take full responsibility for your life. Recognize the power still retained to change perspectives and responses productively, even amid difficulties beyond original control. Carefully reflect on reactive tendencies, making others or blind luck responsible for emotional consequences based on your interpretations of innocuous actions, insensitive words, or unintended situational realities that disappoint. Could you shift focus as an agent directing positive outcomes regardless, rather than just spinning problems? Therein lies power. Visualize fully owning interpretations projected onto all circumstances without projecting credit or blame elsewhere. Recognize the supreme ability remains within to transform obstacles into opportunities, enemies into teachers, storms into vehicles for growth. Reframe each barrier faced as strength training on your hero's journey toward actualizing potential. What mental alchemy becomes possible? Number 8. Find healthy coping strategies. Consciously process challenging emotions as they arise to regain equilibrium, grounded in reason and self-care. Carefully reflect on tendencies reacting to mounting anxiety, sadness, anger, or pain through unhelpful outlets, like overeating unhealthy comfort foods, abusing substances, venting thoughtlessly online, or sabotaging relationships through projection of inner turmoil outward. Consider instead skillful methods to discharge turbulence. Visualize responding to difficulties with conscious breathing, journaling, talking feelings through supportively, exercising discomfort away through movement, or volunteering to help those facing deeper hardships, gaining perspective on your own. Consider also leveraging counseling or meditation techniques if available. There exist many pathways to regain sanity on the other side of storms without self-deprecating. Number 9. Become financially literate. Learn core concepts around responsibly managing money through budgeting, intelligently saving and investing surpluses. While wealth itself does not guarantee enduring happiness, financial fluency grants essential tools forming secure foundations so you can direct focus to higher goals and withstand unexpected turmoil in years ahead. Carefully reflect on current understanding level regarding money mechanics. Does anxiety exist blindly trusting unreliable systems? Do spendthrift habits deny resources better allocated? Might shifting investments to align values ease cognitive dissonance? Close knowledge gaps through reputable education sources that apply literacy in ways uplifting your life and community. Number 10. Develop emotional intelligence. Consciously work to identify subtle feelings arising within through non-judgmental self-awareness. Understand their root causes skillfully, then express turbulence productively without repression or impulsive reactions once fluent, recognizing inner weather systems accurately. Skillful navigation of stormy moods and mental states prevents destructive decisions destructive to self and others. Carefully reflect on tendencies struggling to pinpoint anger, anxiety, or sadness, undefined beyond general overwhelm, when internal turbulence peaks and crashes reactively. Saying or doing regretful things, lacking filters self-possessed perspectives provide through patient processing. Build emotional vocabulary, expanding sensations words, first symbolizing what lies beneath surfaces. Then apply rational thought, once feeling flows befriend it fully through acceptance. Visualize mindfully tracking physical cues and stories behind, surges rushing unexpectedly through routines otherwise securely smooth and predictable, rocked suddenly through news challenging security, shaking foundations, stabilizing normalcy punctuated occasionally, chaos challenging status quo. Consider what change, conflict, or threat provoked physiology, hijacking automated behaviors self-sabotaging rather than witnessing trauma breathfully through regulating centers, steadying ship-heaving heightened states back into balance as adrenaline recedes through conscious release. Tend turmoil compassionately. Number 11. Master the art of confidence. Deeply believe in your inherent self-worth and learn to recognize capabilities and talents uniquely yours, even if underdeveloped currently, then incrementally strengthen competence by applying them to serve some greater good. Quiet confidence cultivates freedom to pursue meaningful aspirations without succumbing to fears of inadequate validation when measuring worth by external metrics alone. Carefully reflect on people-pleasing tendencies chasing endless accumulation of shallow credentials, wealth, and compliments, attempting to manufacture fleeting feelings of safety, superiority, or success, programmed by marketing machinery promoting discontentment that never meets satiation. Could confidence arise from embracing the sufficiency of current accomplishments without requiring constantly outdoing oneself, escalating achievement hierarchies, elevating stress alongside status, anxiously avoiding losing what increasingly takes more gain to feel enough? Consider grounded contentment. Visualize clarifying core values, life purpose, and skill sets by accurately inventorying honest strengths and weaknesses to map strategic steps for cultivating talents wisely chosen for ethical practice rather than destructive egotism. As progress sustains consistency, displaying fruits of self-discipline through small, unglamorous daily decisions honoring character without immediate audience, integrity gains gravity, attracting allies equally committed to living from depths where wisdom flows freely as reward itself. Stay true through obscurity and acclaim alike. Nobility needs no external badges bestowed by men to recognize its allure. Authentic and quiet leadership earns deference, gravity attracting others inspired by its example. As Epictetus emphasized, applaud qualities like commitment to truth, maintaining dignity through misfortune, impartiality toward acquaintances and strangers alike. Forge character consciously first, then allow likeness found in others to forge bonds beyond circumstance, built to stand tests outside validation cannot falsify. Therein lies bedrock, genuine confidence that cannot be shaken, the wise choosiness of surrounding oneself with good company, sharing practices undeflected through distraction. Worldly measures moor self-worth fleetingly. Choose standards self-referenced as the North Star guiding choices when surface opinions gust erratically. Master the self first, all else follows. Authentic leadership requires no external proof. It simply powerfully attracts other courageous souls equally anchored, upholding virtues making positive impact undimmed without notoriety when worthwhile work speaks for itself. Therein lies freedom glory cannot steal. Number 12. Commit to continuous self-improvement. Always push beyond comfort zones to intentionally grow into the highest vision of your potential self through personal development. Expand knowledge, abilities, maturity, and wisdom daily through lifelong learning and practice. Carefully reflect on where your growth trajectory has plateaued in domains like expanding social skills, upgrading career qualifications, improving emotional intelligence, travels expanding cultural literacy, or expressing creativity satisfyingly. Which latent talents and latent dreams linger, awaiting summoned effort to actualize them into fruits, benefiting both self and world alike. Reclaim authority directing your becoming. Visualize clarifying and inspiring vision of your best self, productive through serving people meaningfully at ever-increasing capacities as you incrementally add tools to your toolkit steadily, whether by sharpening communication abilities, easing conflict resolution, conveying care essential for bonding relationships healthily, seeking therapies gradually liberating trauma and self-limiting beliefs, inhibiting fuller engagement, or aligning lifestyle and investments more congruently with values upholding communities conscientiously as a conscious consumer. Progress flows in endless fountain once redirecting attention to perpetual improvement over entertainment addiction or consumption compulsions, momentarily filling voids better addressed through skill cultivation, moving fuller agency, directing life's outcomes increasingly centered on communal contribution through discerned strength's highest and best use rather than default dullness, depleting destiny's promise sleeping untapped, buried still latent, though intuitively sensed, awaiting self-excavation spade, first reclaiming the personal gold mine where riches lie dormant within reach, should one finally adventure to commit unearthing hidden halls, the heart's true thrones, awaiting one's presence to occupy fully, then broadcast blessings to worlds awaiting. Rather than denying discomfort or bypassing accountability through blame projected outwardly, voluntary lifeway amendments prepare ourselves instead by getting our own houses in order first, whether by downsizing luxury living expecting scarcity, sharing modestly, or proactively mending ecosystem abuses industrialization fueled blindly for decades, conveniently bypassing the conscientious restraint which would itself disrupt addiction to greed, waste, speed, and convenience. Consider deeply the collision course modernity's accelerating pace, faster than human and nature are made to withstand, without snapping back feedback catastrophes already unfolding. Then act today as you wish reflected years later, when hindsight reveals necessary, looking backwards at what road forks diverged our paths onto tomorrow. Master life first, or be mastered by unrelenting change. Destiny favors proactive souls forging more conscientious futures, rather than sleepwalking helplessly into volatile years. No amount of anxiety worrying about outcomes could ever prepare for, without commitment, transforming ourselves from within to meet challenges from without. Number 13. Practice consistent self-care. Proactively nurture your physical health, mental, emotional well-being, and soulful nourishment through daily habits and practices, providing renewal of energy and inner reserves. Don't run on empty. Carefully reflect on areas where daily demands leave insufficient margins, guarding essential self-restoration rituals like balanced nutrition, adequate sleep, stress relief through movement or meditation, enriching social connections, creative expression, adventures in nature, fulfilling intimacy, therapy assisting inner work. Consider which foundational aspects require urgent protective boundaries before burnout forces your hand the harder way, when moderation's medicine awaits the patient prescription long overdue to fill. Visualize conducting a thoughtful life audit, assessing how well your schedule and environments currently support basic self-care across categories of mind, body, heart, spirit. Then make judicious lifestyle design choices, realigning activities, relationships, and spaces to more intentionally uplift personal wellness. Holistically nurture physicality, mentality, and morality simultaneously. What specifically cries out for loving attention? Tend gardens overgrown, neglecting precious nutrients, empowering peak performance to sustainably master life's demands, rather than struggle with identity as a heroic martyr, chronically crashing depleted systems no longer rebooting without intensive recovery seasons, sacrificing lost humanity on secular altars, keeping outrageous promises of oases ahead, while the weary cannot reach them once collapsed already crawling there. Stop self-sabotage through diligent self-care. The years ahead require incredible resilience, physically, emotionally, spiritually, withstanding volatile disruptions through climate, technology, health, and civil threats, increasingly challenging society's fabric. But those prioritizing self-care fund deeper adaptive capacity to courageously meet intensifying change through energy, vision, and engagement. The long-haul commitments demand without ambivalence or short-sightedness, excusing responsibilities momentarily for addictive convenience, deferring accumulated pains, suddenly striking all directions at once. Deal wisely with burnout before destiny recruits your breakdowns as community breakthroughs suddenly relied upon, where emerging leaders model the path forward with self-possessed grit. Few wearing the self-care crown can thrive so dazzlingly, never diminishing their inner light's inspiration, despite unrelenting demands on character, carrying crosses uphill in all directions in the name of unwavering purpose and love's truth. Care first for self, then serve the world better. As Marcus Aurelius emphasized, remind yourself you must prepare mind and body with tranquil acceptance for whatever comes, planting fruits whose harvest future cultivation sustains. Nurture the inner landscape consciously, then reap unforeseen blessings when outer terrain unveils in time the slowly ripening fruits of lifetimes invested in conscious living, immediately transferred into the next adventure, where conscious destiny perpetuates her glorious unfolding, infinite love's destination. Master inner realms first, then claim outer treasures ever awaiting within. Number 14, cultivate grit and resilience. Steadfastly persist through inevitable setbacks, obstacles, and failures met along your hero's journey, rather than permanently derailing goals after temporary defeats. View adversity as training toward eventual triumph. Carefully reflect on areas where minor stumbles readily exhaust determination to reliably keep showing up toward long-term aims across domains like health, relationships, or skill development. Do frustrating plateaus dishearten continuation when progress feels permanently stalled? Shift perspective. Every master was once a disaster, first fumbling steps. Patience reveals the genius building behind curtains, obscuring persistent practice, incrementally advancing abilities too subtle for novices to perceive at first. Trust the process. Visualize defiantly reattempting activities recently abandoned prematurely after previous failures framed falsely as proofs of innate inadequacy or lacking talent, genetically doomed to fail despite further efforts made vainly against fate's curse. Recast those self-limiting beliefs as mere excuses, rationalizing the cowardice which abandons growth for being too uncomfortable to continue through necessary phases that look incompetent en route to eventual competency further down the road, now obscured beyond belief. Keep burning. The years ahead require deep wells of fortitude and perseverance, surmounting amplified unpredictability, conflict, and discouragement, challenging resilience both globally and personally. But those heeding wisdom, strengthening spines against headwinds, develop hard-won mettle to captain vessels undaunted by whatever squalls appear in short-term forecasts, along epic quests towards destinations of wonder, awaiting stretched hearts, discovering fuller measures of belonging, innately indwelling the true north, always guiding, despite overwhelm's gusts howling interim. These moments too shall pass when persevered, meaning more miles gained than sunny seasons pretending to brace character while actually atrophying its grit. grown only through resistance long endured. We are diamonds in the rough, awaiting our facets' revelation through friction's polish, transfiguring hardened carbon to gemstone brilliance, wonderfully transforming initially unremarkable opaque stones, often discarded once assessed for unimpressive surface contours, ignoring the inner brilliance patient alchemy's pressures finally coax out. Do not curse those unforgiving teachers. Progress depends upon them. Number 15. Search for deeper purpose. Explore sustainable sources of profound meaning, contribution, and self-actualization through widening impact that ultimately provides fulfillment, outlasting the inevitable aging of superficial desires and hedonic delights. What legacy elicits your highest self? Construct mindfully in that direction daily. Carefully reflect on whether the default driver of your decisions emphasizes ambition, creativity, ethics, knowledge, intimacy, spirituality, volunteerism, or wisdom's cultivation, indicating transcendent growth toward peak potentials for indelibly improving society over time, not merely satiating appetitive cravings centered egocentrically upon praise, promotions, and prosperity alone, which fail to feed the soul once external conditions unexpectedly change. Remember, inward resurrection always waits. Visualize clarifying, then embodying through small, intentional choices made regularly, those unique sparks where passion, aptitude, and conscience jointly illuminate personalized, existential imperatives, subtly suggesting, if gently heeded rather than reflexively ignored, ever more accurate approximations of your righteous path, leading toward infinitely unfolding masterworks finished only by sustaining decade upon decade of undeterred commitment to crafts calling you continually since inception, but awaiting consent to finally say yes, consecrating your days to manifest them sequentially, externalizing the glimmers previously sensed inwardly, until centering entire energy upon their creative manifestation ultimately matters most for justifying being alive in the first place. Act boldly. The years ahead may challenge globally held assumptions around perpetual economic growth, political stability, retirement funding, climate patterns, and technological conveniences, once considered safer bets for basing life decisions, but transcend mere security-seeking by consciously building social, psycho-spiritual, and creative bulwarks against systemic fragility based on daily investing towards causes bigger than oneself. Choose self-actualization through service. A life ethically justified by meaning raining down upon generations long after your fading footprint washes away, externally, still matters most. Hear destiny's summons today. Then consecrate your remaining hours by fully answering, uncompromisingly, its terrifying and wonderful call, fading all other siren voices once appearing important for entry, where none finally differentiate what curtains close. Orient now toward undying aims outlasting this body and age, thus achieving timelessness. If you are listening to this, thank you for staying till the end. If you feel any of these Stoic lessons resonated with you today, feel free to start a Stoic discussion in the comments. I welcome Stoic discussions as they are what the great Stoics like Marcus Aurelius and Seneca advised for. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, and if you want more content like this, subscribe and hit the bell. Thank you for watching, and as always, I hope you find peace and serenity in the Stoic ways.